The next thing that you said in this was that you tend to be a realist. My books tend to be realist contemporary fiction with a raw, gritty edge, which I assume is also is it like gritty realism? Such a term. But it leads me into my final question, which is what's next for you? If you can, if you're able to, can you give us a hint as to, will it be realist contemporary fiction with a raw, gritty edge?
Look, yes, it will. I'm glad I've delivered on what I said in that book, which I probably wrote, I don't know, a year ago. I don't remember when I wrote that. But I'm glad I've stayed true to it. Yeah, so my second novel, it's in a lot of ways, it's similar to Invisible Boys in terms of being, it's really raw, it's honest. It's maybe not as like suicide-y. It's not as dark. Like, not to be flippant about that, but like it's not as much of a dark book, I don't think. But it goes deeper in some ways into the kind of psychological stuff going on. So there's three points of view, and it's upper YA again.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what will happen in terms of the gatekeeper stuff. Because my sense is that the objections that were there for Invisible Boys in terms of graphic content maybe won't be there in the same way. I don't know, like it's still raw and it's still real. But I'm curious to see what happens. But yeah, there's a couple of straight characters and a gay character narrating that particular story. And there's a bit of so it's contemporary YA, realist, modern day. And it's got a little bit of a mystery twist to it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
that was a good hook. That was a really good
suspense-y kind of thing. I'm being so cagey, not telling you the plot at all. But hopefully we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that quite soon.
Okay.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, it would be something like next year that book reaches the world. But I don't have enough to say yet.
All right. Look, I think that's a good scoop. I think I'm happy with that as a scoop.
Yeah. I usually don't talk about that book at all. I'm like, well, I can't tell you, goodbye. So you got more out of me than most do.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited. I think you write so beautifully, and I think you write so thoughtfully. Like it's always really nice to see, like, all writers are careful with their word choice, but I think you are so deliberate and so considered, and so like you are so conscious of your craft. So I'm really excited to read it.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice to hear. I really just make it up as I go. No, like it's as you said, like as we talked about, it's been a lot of hard work of practice and honing. So I'm really, really chuffed to hear that from you, that it comes across that way.